Hey yo, what is going on everybody? It's your boy X coming at y'all with a brand new video, and in this video we are going to be doing something that I thought would be a little bit fun and do a basically video on cards that I want to see come back as retro 2K cards for like future sets for volume 3. So anybody that 2K is watching, you can check out the comments, all that wonderful stuff, and see, what we really want. So I got a list right now of 10 cards from back in previous 2Ks that I think they should bring back that are amazing, that we really need. And I wanted you guys to let me know cards that you guys remember back from like 2K15, 2K16, and all that sort of stuff. And just drop them down in the comments, and we can have some fun times with some of our favorite cards from the past. Also, make sure you guys liked the video, guys did enjoy this idea. If you guys want to see future episodes of this, because I went through and found a lot of cards that I liked. And obviously, subscribe if you guys are new. We are on that road to 10K subscribers. Thank you so much for 8.2K. Really means a lot. So without further ado, let's just hop into some background gameplay and talk about the cards. I'll have some TTO gameplay in the background. So first off, the first card that came to my mind when I was thinking about some of these was the like throwback playoff moments that we did get of Ruby James Jones back in 2K17. You'll see him on the screen, and man, oh man, was this Ruby James Jones just a demon. I remember he dropped, and he was just a Ruby that had that dummy range that could shoot it from deep. He had such a smooth jumper, and he was just overall great. And this was back in the day when there was a lot of memes going on about, you know, James Jones being the GOAT, leading LeBron to the finals, stuff like that. And oh, this Ruby James Jones was just so fun, was so cool. He only went for like 1 or 2K MT on the auction house. People were able to pick him up and just go absolutely nutty with him. And he was just seriously like one of the best cards to pick up and just have some fun with. I absolutely love this Ruby James Jones. If you guys remember, let me know down in the comment section. See how long you guys have been playing 2K. Next card that I really, I would love to see, and that's just because I kind of like the whole simplistic style that they had back, in 2K15 with a lot of the cards. We saw it with, Pink Diamond Paul George. Gorgeous card art. And the one that I want to see come back is the Diamond Kevin Durant from 2K15. Now, 2K15 was an interesting year. I started playing, 2K, I think, around 2K15, but not too seriously. I had like a shared account that I had with one of my friends, and the one major grind that we had to get was this Diamond Kevin Durant. If I remember correctly, you could actually get this KD just from like grinding on the game, and it was such a good card. This Diamond KD, which is one of those guys who literally could do everything, and in 2K15, you guys know, if you guys played it, everything was overpowered, especially three-point shooting. And with these taller guys, it was overpowered. In my career and stuff like that, there was like 7'2" PGs basically that were going around going crazy because 2K15 was broken, like broken. The game was like so bad that it made it really fun to play. And this Diamond Kevin Durant kind of fit into that perfectly because the KD base, I mean, obviously is always money. And animations are pretty simple. You didn't have to do anything too crazy, but they still worked well, and they could still do it. I mean, KD cards are still good, but I just remember getting that KD for free off of that literally changed up how we played the game and just how good we were at it, which was crazy. Card was seriously just an absolute demon. Like, what a fun card to run, man. So, again, if you remember Diamond KD, let me know each one of these cards if you guys remember them from when they dropped. Next, I have another card from back in the 2K17 days. This is really when I started taking my team seriously. I still was a Pro-Am player, but I played a lot of my team. And one card that I remember, Ruby Quentin Richardson. This one, I think, is from like the Deep Shooters 2 set. He's on the screen, obviously, so you guys can see him. Quentin Richardson back in the day was the OG, like, budget shooter that people picked up. Like, he was the reason that people started looking for those, lower rated rubies that could just chuck shots from deep and literally could just kill it. Only from the 3-point range. There's some other cards that I'll show here that kind of do that same thing. But I remember Quentin Richardson, he had just one of those super smooth and clean bases. It kind of reminds me of like, I guess kind of like the Ray Allen jump shot base now. But Quentin Richardson literally could not miss. It was one of those jumpers that it literally didn't miss. And he seriously, I think, still played on some God squads because of just how well of a shooter he was. And still, this was back in 2K17 where it was kind of just like ratings based on defense, and everything was kind of overpowered offensively. So Quentin Richardson was just a beast. And I wanted to shout this card out because 2K has hoed Quentin Richardson the last few years on 2K. I think the last year he was really like godly was, I think, 2K18. I think they might have just killed his jumper in like 2K19. It might be 2K20, one of the two. It just hasn't been the same since. And I'm saying this as a shout out. Bring him back in a retro 2K. Give him like, you know, the Ray Allen base, like Rudy Gay, something like that. That's a really solid jumper. Juice up the shooting just for the memories. Because, oh, I know anybody that used these would be super excited if we got a Quentin Richardson back. Just for nostalgia factors. Awesome. Another card that I remember loving when they came out in 2K17 again was the playoff moments. J.R. Smith, another one of those guys that was just because again, in 2K17, shooting was king, man. Everybody ran around shooting. I was even a 6'7" sharp. And this J.R. Smith, I'm pretty sure, had the Hall of Fame deep threes or whatever they called it back in 2K17. I'm just completely drawing a blank on it. But it was probably one of the best badges that you could have. It was the best badge you could have in the entire game. Like, it literally was insane. J.R. Smith, his jump shot was still just as good as it is now. I think it's still jump shot 49. It's always been that. Was a little bit different back in 2K17, and it was just so smooth, so nice. And this card for sure, I remember this Amethyst J.R. Smith when he dropped was on everybody's team. Literally played that good that he was a Amethyst that was obviously worse stats and, you know, some badges and some other cards, but it didn't matter because of how great this card was. And back in 2K17, I think people really didn't pay attention to card art. It was kind of just like about using what cards you liked and having some fun with it. It wasn't really about make sure we have the all opal lineup. So this J.R. Smith was literally everywhere. Switching up, a card that is actually pretty recent, or more recent than all the other ones I'm going to be showing today, and it is the High Voltage Brandon Roy. Now, I know we've got a lot of Brandon Roy cards throughout the years, but there was nothing better than the animated high voltage electricity going all around on Brandon Roy, and then having the card, you know, there. In 2K19, Jump Shot 8 was the jumper that Brandon Roy had, and it was a little bit different than what the Treyberg base is now, but I absolutely loved it. And this Brandon Roy was just amazing. I feel like just the simplicity of those like electric, just the things going all over the card art was pretty cool, and I think it'd just be fun to have them and relive that excitement that it was getting Brandon Roy for the first time, because we had never had Brandon Roy before this, and it was one of the few times that I actually purchased packs was to pick up Brandon Roy, and ever since he's been one of my favorite, you know, dudes in 2K ever, just because of that. Just seriously, one of the best. Brandon Roy, would love to see him back in the game. Now, throwing it back to some more 2K17 cards, again, this is where I remember playing a whole lot of my team, and it's really a slept-on year, I feel like, when it comes to my team. I hear a lot of Pro-Am people in Park and all this sort of stuff. My team was great back in 2K17, too, and it was with the deep shooters or something like that, you know, the same set as Quentin Richardson, Jason Terry. I remember personally picking up this Jason Terry myself, drawn on my team, because obviously I didn't really spend MT back in 2K17. That just kind of wasn't my thing. Like 16-year-old in high school, wasn't happening. But Jason Terry was, again, another one of those kind of guys like J.R. Smith with that money, you know, Hall of Fame range card, and it was gorgeous. For those of you guys that didn't play 2K17, you can't understand how overpowered range was back in the day. Like, there used to be walking over half court one step and being able to chuck it for the first bit in 2K. Now, when these cards came out, it was nerfed a little bit, but deep threes was still one of the most overpowered things you could have in the entire game, and all of these cards abused the hell out of it. And Terry still could get up and dunk a little bit. The playmaking was great, and he had, like, I guess would be the equivalent to maybe like the Michael Jordan or like Jump Shot 22, somewhere around there, jump shot base, and it was beautiful. It was money. And this Terry, again, played way above its stats because offense and just scoring in general was so overpowered. Most cards just played so well above, I feel like they normally do and what they do now, which is kind of cool. The next guy that I want to see back, again, 2K17, you guys know it, I'm a homer. And it is this card because I think the card art from this card is just so slept on. Actually, it might be 2K18. I'm drawing a blank on it. But it is the Diamond Paul George. And if you hear a little bit of key clicking, I'm going to verify if this was 2K. 2K18 or 2K17. But this Diamond Paul George was a reward card that obviously we had to lock in a set for. So it was not the most amazing thing to have. But the reason I love this PG card is the Paul George base back when this card dropped seriously was one of the most smooth things ever. And it is 2K18, by the way. It wasn't 2K17, 2K18. But the Paul George base was one of the most smooth jumpers in the entire game. But I love it because of the card art. The reward section, I think, in 2K18 was a really slept on card art. It was super smooth. It was super nice. But these Hickory jerseys are amazing. Every single time we get a PG card that has these Hickory jerseys, I love it. And I feel like this is one of the cleanest Paul George cards because of it. Like, you guys can see it. It's gorgeous. Like, come on, you know you love it. It is amazing. Just great. And, I mean, it's Paul George. He plays defense, he dunks on everybody, and he shoots three, so why wouldn't you have it? I understand that this card probably is not going to be coming out because we already have a retro PG, but I still wanted to shout it out as a past card that I just absolutely love and I think is awesome. Next card I have on the list is the Moment Aaron Gordon from 2K16 during the All-Star game where him and Zach LaVine went nuts. Now, you can argue that he got it stolen from him, whatever, but both of the Moments cards from that was amazing. But I remember Aaron Gordon in 2K16 and even like 2K18 was just a demon because, I mean, you had a 6'9" guy who could dunk on everybody. And in 2K16, Lord, was everything, again, overpowered. I feel like in 2K16, shooting was good, but, you know, paint was king. Everybody was dunking. Everybody was doing some crazy things. Inside players in Pro-Am and stuff were amazing, and this Aaron Gordon just capitalized on that great finishing and was just an absolute dime piece to have. Plus, I mean, look at the card art. He is jumping over the mascot's head. How could you not love that? Like, how could you not love this card and be excited for it coming back? The next one we have is from a 2K18, and it is Diamond Markelle Fultz. Now, Diamond Markelle Fultz was another one of those guys in 2K18 that I feel like I just absolutely loved because, I mean, I was a Philly fan back in the day. But 2K18 has some pretty slept-on card art. Like, go back and check out some of these Signature Series card arts, you know, with the signatures across them. Some of the cleanest cards we've seen. For the most part, there wasn't a lot of, like, fun stuff in 2K18, and a lot of people didn't play it just because of, you know, Fortnite being out and all that sort of stuff. But there still was some great gems in there, including this Markelle Fultz, who is absolutely gorgeous because he's like a 6'4" guard that can shoot like crazy, can still dunk and do everything. This was before Markelle really got talked about being a bust, so it was still fun, and there was still a lot of hype around it, which was cool. And the last card that I want to see 2K bring, at least for this video, I have a lot more. I've saved like 40 to 50 cards from previous 2Ks, and there could be more. But a card that I remember absolutely loving, and I think would absolutely break the game if 2K brought back in a retro one, is the Diamond Moment Kobe Bryant from 2K16. You guys can see it on the screen here, and this was from his very last game, if I'm not mistaken, that he played in the NBA in 2K16. And we got this moment, and it blew up when he dropped it. I think some of those Kobe videos were some of my favorite to watch back in 2K. This was actually when I actually used to watch a lot of 2K content. But this Diamond Kobe Bryant was just amazing, and I feel like, you know, the fact that we all are in this kind of state of like missing Kobe and down, I feel like it's just a nice card to get in the game and really love. Now, again, I understand we're probably not going to get a Kobe because we did get the Ruby from 2K15, which has some gorgeous card art, and I'm not mad at all about it, but I think most of us can agree that if we got this Diamond Kobe instead of the Ruby, we would all be happy. Although I do like that we have a budget Kobe for everybody to get and have some fun with. But it's still an idea, 2K. This one's nice. So that's kind of all I have. Those are the 10 cards now. Again, I saved so many more from so many previous 2Ks, and I want to do it again because I thought it was really fun going back and reminiscing on some of the old cards that we had, and I thought were really nice. And again, let me know down in the comment section below some of your favorite cards from previous 2Ks that you guys absolutely loved. Hopefully, you guys can jog my memory on some like budget demons that we had back in the day that I just forgot about. Really fun to go back and think about some previous 2Ks and how much you had fun with them, because it's not like we can really play them now. But it is what it is. Make sure you guys like the video, guys did enjoy, and subscribe if you guys are new. We are on that road to 10K subscribers. I hope you guys have a great rest of your day, and I'll see y'all in the next video.